reading and the 5 to 4 lens framework Pistis Sophia. Chapter 26, Breakdown. Chapter 26, Reading. This then they accomplished continuously before their power was diminished in them, and they waned and became exhausted. And when the number of the cipher of Melchizedek, the receiver of the light, happened, then had he to come out again and enter into the midst of the rulers of all the aeons. And Melchizedek purifieth them as he doth continually. He carrieth their light into the treasury of the light. The 5 to 4 lens breakdown, soul fundamental meaning. The process of spiritual reclamation, reclaiming the divine light spark trapped in material/archontic forces, purifying it, and returning it to the source before lower energies deplete consciousness. Esoteric meaning. Melchizedek operates as the cosmic alchemist and receiver of light. He extracts the divine particles, gnosis, out of the planetary archons, rulers, decanates, and transmutes this trapped energy to elevate it back into the treasury of light, pleroma. Metaphysical meaning. Depletion versus renewal. When energy is tied to lower desires, habits, or material attachments, it drains and weakens. Rerouting focus. The Melchizedek principle within collects and raises mental focus back to higher awareness. Spiritual meaning. Salvation as divine extraction and purification. God provides a divine mediator and mechanism to reclaim every lost spark of light, ensuring that no soul aligned with truth is permanently trapped in lower realms. Afrocentric meaning. The ancestral restoration of stolen spiritual power and heritage. It mirrors the reclaimers of light who extract wisdom from corrupt, oppressive systems and return it to enrich the collective community and sacred lineage. Western application. Energy auditing and boundary management. Recognizing when toxic relationships, work environments, or unhealthy dynamics are draining your vitality, and taking intentional steps to reclaim your personal power and peace. Here is the complete scroll text of Pistis Sophia, chapter 26, translated from the Coptic, followed by a deeper spiritual teaching on what this passage reveals about energy, the cosmos, and the human soul. Scroll reading. Pistis Sophia, chapter 26. This then they accomplished continuously before their power was diminished in them, and they waned and became exhausted, or powerless. It came to pass then, when they became powerless, that their power began to cease in them, so that they became exhausted in their power, and their light, which was in their region, ceased, and their kingdom was destroyed, and the universe became quickly raised up. It came to pass then, when they had perceived this at the time, and when the number of the cipher of Melchizedek, the receiver of the light, happened, then had he to come out again, and enter into the midst of the rulers of all the eons, and into the midst of all the rulers of the fate, and of those of the sphere. And he agitateth them, and maketh their circles quickly pass away, and straightway they are constrained, and cast forth their power out of themselves, out of the breath of their mouth, and the tears of their eyes, and the sweat of their bodies. And Melchizedek, the receiver of the light, purifieth them, as he doth continually. He carrieth their light into the treasury of the light. And all the rulers of the eons, and the rulers of the fate, and those of the sphere, turn to the matter of their refuse. They devour it, and do not let it go and become souls in the world. They devour then their matter, so that they may not become powerless and exhausted, and their power cease in them, and their kingdom become destroyed, but in order that they may delay and linger a long time until the completion of the number of the perfect souls who shall be in the treasury of the light. Deeper spiritual teaching. The law of extraction and preservation. Chapter 26 of Pistis Sophia unveils a profound Gnostic mystery concerning how spiritual energy moves between the dense, material realms and the higher spiritual dimensions. 1. The archontic trap and the energy siphon. In Gnostic cosmology, the archons, the rulers of the eons, planetary spheres, and matrix systems, do not possess an inherent, self-sustaining light source. Their power is borrowed or stolen from divine sparks, the light of Sophia trapped within creation. Because they cannot generate true divine light, they live in a constant state of energy depletion. Left to themselves, their low-frequency kingdom naturally degrades, collapses, and dissolves. 2. The Melchizedek principle. The great recycler of light. Melchizedek is introduced here not merely as an earthly priest, but as a high cosmic force, the receiver of light. When the cycles, the cipher, hit a specific spiritual alignment, Melchizedek descends into the middle of the chaotic spheres. He agitates and accelerates the rotation of the cosmic wheels, maketh their circles quickly pass away. Under this high vibrational pressure, the archons cannot hold on to the divine sparks. The light is shaken loose from them through their breath, tears, and sweat. Melchizedek immediately collects this pure extracted light, filters out the dross, and returns it safely to the treasury of light, the pleroma or divine source. The inner mystery. Melchizedek represents the inner spiritual catalyst, or Christ consciousness, that enters your personal life when you are being drained by low vibrational environments. Divine pressure is applied to force the extraction of your soul's pure light, so it isn't permanently trapped in lower worldly desires. 3. Devouring their refuse. Why the material world persists. The most striking vision in chapter 26 is the archons turning to devour their own refuse, matter/decay. Because Melchizedek continually strips them of the higher divine light, the archonic rulers are forced to recycle and consume their own lower material density just to stay alive. They feed on lower vibrational matter, fear, chaos, and material obsession to delay their inevitable collapse and stall the awakening of humanity. They devour their own shadow to hold on to control just a little bit longer. 4. The spiritual mandate for the initiate. Stop feeding the refuse. When we engage in toxic dynamics, ego battles, and lower mind attachments, we feed the archontic matrix that devours its own tail. Trust the purification. Suffering, spiritual pressure, and divine agitation are often Melchizedek at work, shaking loose the light trapped in our physical and emotional bodies so it can be purified and elevated. Focus on the treasury. The universe persists only until the completion of the number of the perfect souls. The ultimate goal of the soul is not to fix or build an eternal home in the lower spheres, but to allow its light to be harvested, redeemed, and returned to the divine center.